Hey there, this is Julian from the Binary Lab and the Forex Lab. So this is going to be like a very quick video. I've spoken about a similar topic also on my Facebook pages yesterday. So I did a similar Facebook Live on my Binary Lab page and also on my the Forex Lab page. So basically, if you look into this video description, I have a, what do you call it? I have my Facebook profile, personal Facebook profile. You can actually ask me questions over there. So the first thing you need to know is that I will most probably not accept friendship requests because I have a backlog of over thousands of friendship requests that are not accepted. So if I accept one, I have to accept all, and that's not possible. Okay, um, like let's firstly talk about like why do I want to have you connect with me to ask me questions about forex or binary. I think this would be a good way for you to get your questions answered. And secondly, there are a few reasons. Okay, first one is a good way. Secondly, I find it very fun. It's very refreshing. I get a lot of inspiration. I mean, that's the third thing. I get a lot of inspiration when you guys ask me certain things, certain problems in your trading. You're sharing a problem, and you're looking for an answer. And this kind of gives me like inspiration and direction on what to create my new videos about. So it reminds me of a long time ago when I felt that I had a very close relationship with all the followers on my YouTube, on the followers on my Facebook pages, because you know I was just at the time I didn't have a Facebook page. Everyone was just messaging my personal Facebook. I put my email right there. So and then eventually, people started like including me on many different spam lists and started getting a lot of spam. It wasn't very fun. But one thing that I find very fun, which I started to do again, which I think, I've started having a couple of people send me Facebook friend, I have like some Facebook message requests, and I just responded some. Like for example, there's this dude Benjamin. He actually wrote to me to say that you know um, he's been watching my videos and if he ever give binary a shot, he started out with like $55 and he actually made like $465 on the same day. And then over the next couple of days, he's basically giving that back to the markets and frustrated because he once had it, but then he lost it. So I went on to explain to him a little bit. Like I gave him like two voice messages on why that actually happens to traders, not just him, but a lot of people. And I also gave him a blog post that you can read up more about why this happens to traders. Um, and there was a guy named Peter, and you know um, he's been following me for a year. He's been looking to get in touch for a year, and in that time, he's or rather like right now, he's looking for ways uh, or looking for pointers on how to make good trades in binary, for instance. So whatever your question may be, okay, um, I actually find it very refreshing to be able to give these voice replies. So my Facebook profile is right there. It's facebook.com/professionalbot. And at the same time, how do you find out that this is my real profile and not like some phony? I mean, there are a lot of phonies out there. One thing that you need to check is the number of followers I have. I have 12,000 followers on this account. And if you look through some of the pictures that are left public, some of them go back to like years ago, like before was that 2007, 8, something like that, a long time back. So it goes a long time back. This profile's been around for like what 10 plus years or so, 10 years at least. Okay, so the fake profiles they cannot do that. And above everything, when you ask me questions, um, if all you're hearing is some strange accent person that's not this, that it doesn't sound anything like me, then it probably isn't. So, but then again, if you only go to that Facebook profile, all right, and so you can go to that Facebook profile that I listed, click that follow button. Hey there, Verdina, it's great to hear from you. I mean, it's like, wow, you've been you've been following me for a very long time. It's very refreshing to have someone like this chime in. How's it going over there? Are you still doing binary, or are you doing more on Forex these days? So for those of you out there watching this video, go over to that Facebook profile that I have in the description. Go click that, hit the follow button, and then you know that that's me. Like, what do I put public, and what do I do on? What I mean, like, I've obviously, like, there's personal stuff, there's like friends only, but there's a lot of things that I put private, like some of my personal profile, Facebook lives, inspirational messages, and so on. I share stuff on my page onto my profile. Um, and then, like, if you have any questions, if you can't think of a question right now, just whenever you have one, just message me right into my personal Facebook. Why that's good is because, like, sometimes you go to my Facebook page and my admin is not able to give you very a very precise answer, or sometimes it could be a very very broad answer to the question you're asking. And I think, like, if you ask me, it would be, or if I could get to answer your question, sometimes it could make the difference between, like, heaven and hell for your trading experience. Um, Not to say that my admin is inexperienced, but then again, there's certain things that's within their knowledge to understand and that and explain, but and there's also things that are outside of it. Because sometimes it's a lot more, like, sometimes it's not very simple. Like, if it's psychology, if it's like, sometimes if I could just give you a 30-second or a 60-second message to reframe some of the mistakes that you're making, that could change your mindset a lot. And what does that take for me? It takes like a minute of my time, 2 minutes of my time. It doesn't cost me anything. And I find it fun and I find it inspiring. So some of you who send me messages, I don't really care if you come into my community for Forex or binary or not, okay? If you just want to get a question answered, that's fine. But I mean, like, obviously, I will draw my line to it. Like, let's say if every day you have 5 new questions for me now, so you think it's about time to just join the group. And I can tell you more over there. I'm not able to, sometimes I'll say, like, I'm not able to explain to you the question that you have for me uh, without showing you on the chart at the same time. So the best way for me to show you that is for you to come to the group, and I can dedicate time in the next webinar to answer your question. In fact, I actually miss that. I miss those kind of moments because I used to have people ask me certain stuff that was, like, very elaborate. Um, how do you make IQ option back on white? If you go to your settings, I unfortunately cannot toggle the screen share right now. You go to your settings, it's the first page of settings, and there's like a couple of different screens. You can select gray, you can select black, you can select white. So that's what I do. Go to your settings page, and then what I like to do also is I like to change the zoom from 100. Is by default it's like 100. I used to change it to, I like to do the 80% so I can see more objects on my screen. All right, that's a tip for you, Brian. So I'm perfectly okay with pointing you guys in the right direction. Some of you guys are great traders already. Some of you trade regularly. Some of you are experienced. Some of you are self-taught. And sometimes all you need is certain inputs, advice, and maybe you've been following my channel for some time and you'd like to hear something from me. So I can actually give you that information now. It's free. It's free. Like, obviously, if you ask me, oh, can you tell me a strategy? How do I trade this? How do I trade this? Well, like I said, if I can tell it to you in a message, in a short message, I will. But if it's too much, too elaborate, and it's not just possible for me to put into an answer, I'll have to say, why don't you just join the group? And then obviously I have different kind of groups that you can join, and you can ask me about which group is more suitable for you. That's perfectly fine. So I would love to get that going again, because many years ago, I never had to brainstorm about what topic to teach, because there's always people asking me different questions. And I would say, you know what? I'm going to dedicate some time in the next webinar to answer your question, to show this to you. Please make sure you're around so that you can tell me if this is what you want to know or it's not. And please be around so you can confirm if my explanation or what I taught is relevant to what you're asking me. Make sense? So that's basically what I wanted to express to you guys over here. And if there's anyone out of you on my email list, my subscriber list, on Facebook, on here on YouTube, and you have questions about Forex or about binary, you want them answered, or sometimes you just want to trade, and you see me doing different things. One moment you see me doing binary, one moment you see me doing digital option, one moment you see me doing Forex, and you just want to get involved, but you don't know what's best for you, and you can ask me these questions. There's no problem at all. So my Facebook profile is in the description. Um, just shoot me a message. I read fast. I'm good at speed reading, but I hate typing, and very often, I'm not, I use the swipe thing, but I still don't like doing that too much. So anyways, I will be making all my replies in voice message. And I think that's the best for you, because when you listen, you know that it's me. You know it's not some scammer out there. But I mean, if it's my profile, that's already one checkpoint. The second checkpoint is that if you listen to me speaking for quite some time, you know that I have certain patterns of speech, certain accents of speech. And you probably realize that when I'm sick, I speak in a certain way. When I'm well, I speak in a certain way. When I'm tired, I speak in a certain way. I'm tired, I slur. And on certain days, I speak more towards an Aussie. Some days I speak more to the UK. Some days I speak a little bit more American tone. But there is a baseline tone in the way I speak. So that way you know that you're not dealing with fake Julian Wongs on the internet. Okay? So come on and hit me up with some of your messages. I'm looking forward to giving you answers that can point you in the right direction. I'm looking forward to more ideas that I can make videos about, and more ideas on what I can teach in my upcoming webinars on binary and Forex. Bye for now. Good trading.